Sometimes what feels like your worst day can actually become the best day of your life if you choose to use it. The key phrase here is if you use it, because if you don't, it will use you. Stress is the same way. You either use stress or stress uses you. It's always your choice. The reality is most people let stress take control of them. Just like technology, instead of mastering it, most people let technology master them. At a certain point in my life, I made 3 different decisions than my father made at that same stage. I focused differently. I looked at what was there, not what was missing. The first shift was gratitude. There was food on the table. The second was meaning. What does this situation really mean? To me, it meant strangers cared. And that single meaning changed the entire direction of my life. When I was a kid, life wasn't easy. We didn't have money. We didn't even have food on Thanksgiving. And then one day, somebody, probably someone like you, showed kindness to my family. That one act changed everything. It wasn't about the food. It was about the meaning. It showed me that strangers cared, that people had goodness inside them, and that changed how I saw life. Now, every one of us makes certain decisions every single day, even right now as you listen to me speak. You may not be consciously aware of it, but you're making them. And the truth is, our lives don't usually change because we keep answering the same internal questions out of habit without ever questioning our own thinking. The first and most important decision we all make is, what am I going to focus on? There are millions of things you could focus on right now, but whatever you choose, remember this, focus equals feeling. Whatever you focus on, you'll start to feel whether it's true or not. Change your focus, and you'll instantly change how you feel. We don't experience life as it is. We experience the life we focus on. You could have everything and still feel miserable if your focus is wrong. The incredible thing is, you have the ability to shift your focus in every moment, but most people don't use that ability. They allow their minds to run on autopilot, following habitual thought patterns, instead of taking conscious control of their focus. You must take command of your focus. The second decision that shapes your life is the meaning you give to what you focus on. The moment you focus on something, your brain asks, what does this mean? Is this the end, or is this the beginning? Is this person disrespecting me? Or are they challenging me to grow? Are they criticizing me? Or are they coaching me, caring enough to push me further? Whatever meaning you assign will immediately change how you feel. And those emotions will then determine your actions. So the first decision is focus. The second is meaning. And the third is action. But remember, you control the meaning. If you believe it's the end of a relationship, will you act the same way as if you believed it's the beginning of a deeper one? Of course not. Meaning creates emotion, and emotion drives behavior. If you're angry, you'll act one way. If you're feeling generous, playful, or inspired, you'll act completely differently. Those 3 decisions, focus, meaning, and action, shape your entire destiny. Now, here's the powerful truth. By changing just one of these patterns, you can transform the entire experience of your life. Ask yourself, do you tend to focus more on what you have or what's missing? We all do both, but many high achievers, the overachievers of the world, have a pattern of always focusing on what's missing. That focus gives them drive, yes, but it also robs them of lasting joy. Because how can you ever feel fulfilled if your attention is constantly on what you don't yet have? There's a time to notice what's missing. But if that becomes your habit, you'll be like a hamster on a wheel, always running, never arriving. No matter how much you achieve, it'll never be enough. So it's crucial to become conscious of your focus patterns. Do you live mostly in the past, the present, or the future? Do you focus on what's within your control or what's beyond it? Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. And you already know this. My job today isn't to teach you something new. It's to help you do what you already know. The real power lies in conditioning your mindset and psychology so that no matter what's happening in the outside world, you remain in charge of your inner world. Because when you're in charge of that, you can succeed in any environment, in any market. You have to decide, I'm going to own my life. I'm not making excuses. I'll find a way to be better than ever before. And yes, it might require more work than it did 2 years ago. That's okay. Most people think too short term. They overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade or 2 or 4. But I promise you this, if you take charge of those 3 decisions, what you focus on, what it means, and what you'll do, you take control of your life. Everybody wants to improve, but nobody wants to change. Yet change is the only doorway to progress. One thing that transformed my life was learning how to use my nervous system more effectively. I became obsessed with patterns because there are patterns in everything. Anyone who's great at anything is a student of patterns. Whether it's business, investing, art, sports, or music, it's all about recognizing and mastering patterns. Everything in life runs on patterns. In fact, more than half of what you do every single day is a habit. You think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and therefore experience the same day over and over again. If you want a new life, you've got to break some of those patterns. When I discovered how to identify and shift patterns, everything changed. At first, I learned how to change my own patterns and realized I didn't need to change me. I just needed to change my habits. Changing yourself feels impossible. But changing a pattern, that's doable. Once I learned that, I began helping others do the same. Over time, I started to see the patterns in everyone, in their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. And that's where my work truly began. It started with one question that became my lifelong obsession. What makes the difference in the quality of people's lives? Why do some people, with all the odds stacked against them, poverty, abuse, heartbreak, rise up to greatness, while others with every advantage fall apart? How can someone face unimaginable pain and still come back stronger, like Oprah did, while another person, loved, supported, and wealthy, spends their life lost and broken? The answer is simple. Biography is not destiny. Decision is destiny. Your life changes the moment you make a new decision. Those 3 core decisions, what to focus on, what it means, and what to do, shape everything. You must draw a line in the sand and decide what you will no longer tolerate. We all get what we're willing to tolerate, not just from others, but from ourselves. I grew up with 4 different fathers. We were broke. I wasn't a popular kid, but I loved people. I remember the most popular kid in school. He was mean to everyone, especially my friends and me. And I thought, how is this guy the most liked person here? That question made me curious. Since I had no one to learn from, I decided to teach myself. I took a speed reading course and promised I'd read a book a day. I didn't quite hit that, but I did read about 700 books in 7 years, all on psychology, physiology, and human development. I wanted to see the patterns behind success and happiness. Then I studied techniques like neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis, and discovered I could help people make changes in minutes that used to take years. I began challenging psychiatrists and psychologists. Give me your toughest patient. I'll help them in 1 hour, not 7 years. And now many of those same professionals come to me for training. Back then, I was trying to prove myself to them and to me. But through that process, I learned something vital. There's always a reason why people do what they do. When you understand those reasons, those invisible forces driving human behavior, you can influence change both in yourself and others. That's your job. That's my job. The number 1 principle of success in anything is your energy level. Nothing replaces it. Low energy equals low performance. High energy equals high performance. Your emotional state is your power source, and your state is controlled by your energy. Change your energy, and you'll change your relationships, your business, your entire life. Who are you when chaos hits? When everything's falling apart? Do you freeze Or do you step forward and take charge? Some people panic. Others say, move. I've got this. That difference in energy changes everything. But here's the problem. People's energy has dropped massively in recent years. Since the pandemic, so many have gotten used to staying home, doing less. The whole world slowed down and energy standards dropped. People don't even realize how low their energy is because they're comparing themselves to others who have also slowed down. But if you want to be the best in business, in life, in anything, you've got to elevate your energy above that new normal. You have to rise higher than before. Do that and you'll crush it regardless of the market, the economy, or the circumstances. If you can recognize patterns, you won't live in fear because you'll see that life moves in cycles. You'll start anticipating what's next instead of reacting to what's now. Followers react, leaders anticipate. Throughout history, one truth remains constant: good times create weak people. Not because they want to be weak, but because they don't need to be strong. Then weak people create hard times. Hard times create strong people. And strong people create great times. But great times create weak people again. And the cycle continues. That's the story of humanity. To influence anyone, including yourself, you must understand what already influences them. And the number one influence is emotional state. If someone's angry, no matter what logic you present, they'll respond differently than if they're feeling grateful, loving, or excited. So mastering state, both your own and others, is the single most valuable skill in life. And you must be able to shift state instantly. Not through fake hype, not through pretending, but through genuine physiological and psychological change. Moment to moment, your state controls everything: your behavior, your decisions, your results. Most people don't celebrate enough. They wait for big victories while their nervous system forgets what joy feels like. Whatever emotions you practice regularly become your baseline. If you keep holding back, trying not to stand out, not to be too happy, not to be too much, you're teaching your nervous system to play small. But when you condition your nervous system to live in gratitude, energy, and joy, that becomes your natural state. And that's when you're unstoppable.